Just recently today, I've heard from two other victims that, so it's just a lot to talk about, that experienced the same thing that I experienced.
It turned out that the individuals he was standing up for were purported victims of T.D. Jakes' less than admirable side. Even though you would be quick to doubt it, considering the man's background makes it a little harder to argue with. T.D. Jakes was partying at a twerking and rapper event.
T.D. Jakes was hanging out at a rapper and twerking party. What? That Puff Daddy held. He's sitting right there, old T.D. Snakes.
The revelation of a public preacher attending those gatherings startled even someone who had attended them. There have been rumors about Diddy and T.D. Jakes, you know. What could possibly be the reason behind a devout man like him attending a sinless party? Not only his bodyguard feels that way, though. There are other insiders in the entertainment industry who tell us he's far worse than he looks. As you can see, they're also higher in one hemisphere than the other. They have personnel on.
See, they're up in another hemisphere than regular, too. They're very insulated. They can do what they want. They got people on.
T. Jakes has been working against the typical flow of people in his field for the past few weeks, since the well-known bishop has been involved in some fairly unexpected news. His media appearances have now taken a much worse turn, with reports of his arrest accompanying his name in the press. Actually, though, Jakes is no stranger to the spotlight. At least not compared to most preachers. His church has grown over the years, and he has been close to several successful entertainment industry personalities, which has won him an almost indestructible reputation in society. You know what follows that kind of achievement? Celebrity. Apparently, the man is well known for more than just his sermons. According to recent press reports, he may not even strictly adhere to his own teachings. There are successful theologians in the world, and then there are others, like Bishop T.D. Jakes, who appear to have found a means of bridging the gap between biblical teachings and the entertainment industry, especially the hip-hop culture. In addition to having relationships with a number of well-known people in the Black community and beyond, the man's influence also extends to other countries. But like many religious leaders, Jakes has been under constant fire for his ties to a number of wealthy people that the general public views as dubious. But up until this point, the preacher had always dismissed those accusations out of hand because he didn't appear to give a damn about those he thought were against him. We're learning these days that Jakes may not be the perfect saint that many have believed him to be over the years. You see, the problem with becoming entangled in controversy after controversy in a society where headlines rule the day is that eventually, those issues begin to cloud your involvement in anything you may be involved in. This was partially Jakes' story, as people began to wonder if the bishop might not have been completely innocent of the accusations leveled against him. The rage surrounding this fire intensified when not one, but two individuals recently came forward to disclose that they had personal, troubling experiences with the preacher's son. This incident also happened to put the preacher's son in a position where people were more likely to believe the recent accusations made against him. The timing of these reports couldn't be worse for him, even if he has been involved in more serious issues in the past. You resemble the Senate exactly. Similar to the Senate. There's quite unlikely that you haven't heard of T.D. Jakes, even if you don't understand the message he preaches, even though his church may have been the primary factor in drawing attention from the media. He has been there thanks to a number of other news stories. Some things come as more of a surprise than you may imagine, like the news of his son. The son of T.D. Jakes, the megachurch pastor in Dallas who has termed homosexuality a brokenness and said he would never hire an active gay person, was arrested in a gay sting in Keys Park some time ago, according to a Dallas police record. Following reports that he had exposed himself in front of two undercover Vice investigators, Jermaine Donald Jakes was charged with indecent exposure. The detectives were both men, a DPD spokesman at the time confirmed, Senior CPL Janice Crowther. The arrest document states that while the police were looking into a citizen complaint of S activity, they noticed that Jake and a few other unidentified males had parked their cars in the lot east of the park. Jake approached the investigators with his bare body visible through his unbuttoned jeans, and they followed him into a forested area. According to the affidavit, Jake's M was made for a few seconds as he was looking at one of the detectives. The affidavit states that the well-known bishop's son made no effort to hide his fight from persons jogging and strolling along a nearby trail. According to court documents, Jermaine Jakes named T.D. Jakes Ministries as his place of employment, which given the circumstances most people found odd. However, Jakes was subsequently taken into custody and released at the scene. For those who do not know, T.D. Jakes is the founder of the South Dallas Church Potter's House, which has 300 to 000 members. In contrast, the preacher in this narrative is a strong opponent of same-sex marriage. HIV/AIDS activists have even called him out for diminishing efforts to avoid the disease by stigmatizing drug use and homosexuality. And yet, his son is shown here being physically caught without his pants on. Regarding same-sex marriage, Jakes previously stated to USA Today, "I have not yet found scriptural authority that enables me to declare you to be husband and wife on behalf of God." The government is unsure about how to proceed with this issue. The Bible isn't. The following week, Faith Johnson, Jermaine Jakes' lawyer, released a written statement. The statement read, "We are aware of potential allegations involving Jermaine Jakes and are currently conducting our own investigation into these allegations. We are unable to say further at this time due to an apparent government investigation." The preacher may soon have to face SIA allegations in court after one of his former mentees, Manasseh Jordan, claimed in a recent video that victims of the alleged power-bottom bishop are getting ready to sue him. It's already dubious enough that his son was involved in an unusual scandal. You recall that I mentioned there were allegations against him. That's exactly what I meant to say. Not only were two of the perpetrators victims of what I had just described, but they also had essays. Therefore, additional victims have come forward, and he has spoken with them. According to Manasseh Jordan, a former disciple of Bishop T.D. Jakes, who said that the well-known Dallas pastor trained him. It is no secret that, as we can see in the widely circulated photo, Manasseh Jordan most likely once rested his head on Bishop T.D. Jakes' shoulders. Diddy is seen resting his head on the Black Pope's shoulders. Manasseh appears to have finally managed to get away from the enemy and is now using his position to assist more victims. Manasseh talked about the new victims that have come forward against Bishop T.D. Jakes in a video that he posted on December 30. Two other victims who went through the same thing as me just told me today that it's just too much to talk about. In the video, Manasseh stated, "Two other victims that went through the same thing as me told me today that there is just too much to discuss." Manasseh claims that Bishop T.D. Jakes reportedly groomed and SA'd two victims with whom he spoke. In another segment of the film, Manasseh claimed that the two victims he met with had discussed the G, which Bishop T.D. Jakes was supposedly responsible for. According to him, the victims also claimed that Bishop Jakes had SA'd them. Manasseh Jordan stated that two of the perpetrators were not only victims of G, as I had previously detailed in some of my videos, but also of SA or S assault, from the same predator who had groomed and violated me as a man. There will be charges brought against them. From my grooming predator, the sane one. Being outspokenly opposed to LGBT people is one thing. For your son to be entangled in the precise web you detest is quite another matter. However, I think it's a whole different issue for you to be entangled in those very stories that you so fearlessly oppose, especially in cases when there is a clear and present danger that it may result in a protracted legal dispute. Many people were moved by Manasseh's video, and many of them used social media to discuss his revelation about the preacher. Someone commented, "I think if he had spoken any longer, Manasseh would have burst into tears. He was so close." Despite his claims to the contrary, I believe he was either a victim or very nearly was. Sad. I have personally saw and experienced this, said another who was more preoccupied with the individuals who were standing with the accused attacker. I got chills at his collapse. We need to break the magic that enchants followers to worship these men and women as gods. Of course, the full narrative has not yet surfaced. And although you could condemn these individuals for drawing these conclusions in the absence of all the information, T.D. Jakes hasn't exactly had a spotless record prior to these most recent accusations. The pastor became involved with a rapper's predicament just a few weeks ago. That, to put it mildly, did not lend him any more credibility. It's no secret that social media has developed into a dynamic arena where people become well-known, trends come and go, and disputes dominate the conversation. A recent instance involving rap superstar P. Diddy and well-known preacher T.D. Jakes is evidence of this thriving online market. T.D. Jakes, who really doesn't need an introduction at this time, gained attention on social media for his purported relationship with P. Diddy rather than his religious beliefs. The peculiar partnership between these two diametrically opposed personalities has sparked a flurry of conjecture and conspiracy theories. Diddy, real name Sean Combs, is no stranger to controversy, but this latest information gives the rapper's already contentious reputation a new dimension. A number of accusations made by TikTok influencer Maisha are at the center of the online agitation around these prominent personalities. At the core is a widely shared video in which she makes accusations regarding Diddy's previous relationship with Cassie, including charges about physical and romantic abuse. Stories of wildest parties that Diddy supposedly hosted, where T.D. Jakes was rumored to be a regular guest, were among the shocking discoveries. The video further fanned the flames by making reference to a hidden phone that belonged to Diddy's late ex-girlfriend Kim Porter. Diddy's name was previously prominently mentioned in connection with Kim Porter's death, which was already shrouded in mystery and speculation. Fans were shocked by this explosive footage that went viral online, especially in light of Bishop Jakes' purported involvement in these dubious actions. Several admirers jumped into the topic as soon as news of his purported relationship with Diddy surfaced, with one user even stating that this is just the beginning. Ministries, they wrote. His closet is full with many skeletons, and the way the ministry was operated is no exception. The fact that Jake frequently attends P. Diddy's events is only the beginning.